Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited for today's video. It is going to kick off a series here for November. Every single Monday I will be posting a sort of anti-haul type of video. I posted on my community tab about a month ago and asked if you guys had any video suggestions or content ideas for November for me. And one of you, Lauren, thank you so much Lauren for this amazing idea, suggested that I do like a no thank you November, and one time a week I come on to kind of talk about some items that I'm not interested in. So I'm taking this one and I'm rolling with it because I thought it was such a fun idea. So every single Monday, assuming I can keep on track, I will be posting a no thank you November sort of anti-haul type of video. And I think every week I'll just mention maybe 10 items, products, gift sets, whatever it might be that I am personally not going to be picking up and kind of my reasons why. I love to do hauls on my channel, but it's important to talk about the things that I don't think are worth it too, just so it's not like always just buy. So that is what today's video is going to be. I hope that you guys are excited. If you have any other video ideas, content suggestions that you guys would love to see, please leave me a comment down below. And I would also love to hear the products that you have seen and don't plan on picking up, or maybe you disagree and you're going to be picking up an item that I mentioned in today's video. I would love to hear from you guys about what you plan to pick up versus not pick up. Other than that, if you have yet to subscribe to my channel, I would love if you would consider subscribing before moving on. I do lots of project painting videos on my channel and I just love to chat about makeup, obviously. So if you love either of those two things, I would love if you would consider subscribing. And other than that, let's just jump into the video. I have no idea what's going on with my hair today, and I feel like I look incredibly pale in the viewfinder. I've really struggled to match like my... It's been a situation lately. I do have 10 items saved that I have saved over the last like 2 weeks. I was thinking next week maybe I could do like an entire video dedicated to gift or value sets that I don't think are worth it, or that I won't be picking up, and why. But today I just have a lot of new makeup releases to talk about. Guys, I want to kick it off with Natasha Denona. I'm going to scoot over just slightly so I can post pictures here. I'm gonna like lean over to the side. And if I'm looking down, I'm just looking at, I'm just looking down at the picture or my notes. And most everything, I think everything in today's video is coming off of the Trend Mood Instagram page. I'll have that linked in my description box down below. And if I read off of any other Instagram accounts, I'll also have those linked in my description box. But the Natasha Denona Trio Chrome palette. At first when I saw this, I was like, oh, like definitely do kind of want this. It was like that like bright yellow, shockingly, that really intrigued me. And then I was like, that row of purples looks really pretty. But when I got to looking at this, I realized that it's just the 3 sort of special shades. This palette is $129 and the rest of the shades are matte. And I wasn't impressed with the Natasha Denona Safari palette, which was all matte, and that is something that I sold at my Poshmark. I didn't return that, but I got rid of that almost instantly because I just was so unimpressed with that eyeshadow palette. And I just feel like there are so many indie brands out there that have just absolutely amazing formulas for foiled metallics, trichrome, duochrome, like multi-dimensional shades that I just feel like, even like with the Pat McGrath palettes, even though I did end up picking up 2 of the quads, I'm filming this on the day that the VIB sale started. I did end up purchasing the Pat McGrath quad that was exclusive to her website, and then I did pick up the one with the blue shade today. I'm so disappointed in myself. That was one that was like, it was out of my cart and I was like, I'm not getting this, and then last second it ended up in my cart. But back to this palette, I just feel like for $129 this isn't worth it to me. I don't feel like I would get a ton of use out of this just looking at this for day-to-day wear. This is something that I would likely only wear on my days off. I just can't see myself creating wear-to-work looks, and I do work 5 days a week. So I just don't think I would get enough use out of this to validate the $129 purchase. But I would love to know if you guys, what you're thinking about this palette. I feel like I've seen very mixed things about this one, and I would love to know what you guys think. The Huda Beauty Faux Foundation Stick. Why did I do a double take for this? I don't even like stick foundations, and I feel like with Huda Beauty, the one like gripe about her brand is that her products are always so heavily fragranced. And I remember the reviews for her liquid foundation were that it was just like the most full coverage thing ever. And I'm not a full coverage type of a gal when it comes to foundation. So I would have expected myself to just kind of breeze by this release, but I did do a double take. It is $39 for the stick foundation. I don't even like stick foundations. So when I really started to think about it, I was like, girlfriend, why are we even thinking about this? This shouldn't even be on your radar. But I wanted to toss it in here because I was curious if any of you love stick foundations and if you'll be picking this one up. Ooh, the Selena Gomez palettes. I am not gonna lie, I was very disappointed to see her first palette release was all shimmer palettes. These just don't speak to me at all. I could see these being really nice companion palettes, but the color story in each of them, I just feel like I wouldn't get enough use out of enough shades in either of the palettes. Like in the blue-green one, I'm just like not that interested. Even the greens, like for me who loves green shades, I'm not really interested in those specific greens. So there's nothing really in that palette that gets to me. And then the purple and pink palette, I wouldn't use that like royal purple. I feel like I wouldn't use the deeper pink. The orange doesn't really call to me. And I don't know, I was a little bit disappointed that the first palette release was all shimmers. I would love to know if you guys feel the same way. I'm waiting for her to release a bronzer, liquid cream, powder even. I want a bronzer, Selena. Let's do it. Cover FX. I feel like we don't see Cover FX releasing a lot of things, which I kind of appreciate, but they just announced that they are releasing it's available now. I will have everything linked below in case you guys are interested in any of these, but it is so it's a pressed formula, 3 shades. What am I trying to say? It's their custom enhancer palette. And it is 3 of their best-selling custom enhancer drops now in a talc-free pressed powder. So Cover FX has those. I used to love these when I wasn't even into cream and liquid highlighters, and then I like sold or decluttered all mine, and now I'm into cream and liquid highlighter. I still feel like these would be too intense for my preferences these days, but they have the custom enhancer drops, which is their liquid highlights, and now 3 of their most popular shades come in pressed form in a highlighter palette. I do think that this looks pretty, but I've been getting less and less interested in highlighter in general. I've been opting for a more subtle highlight, something a little bit more natural, and I just like, even looking at my highlighter collection, like I still like am happy about my highlighter collection, but I'm just not that excited about highlighter anymore. I feel like highlighter this year kind of, I feel like I'm not alone in that. Maybe I am, but I feel like I'll always still highlight. I'm just not as excited about highlighter as I used to be. The Sugarpill capsule collection, they revealed a new pill palette for Halloween. It is available now, $42, and it has 10 eyeshadow shades. I actually think that this is pretty, and the mustard matte as well as the green matte look really, really pretty, as well as some of the like shimmer shades. I just feel like I haven't seen this packaging in person. I haven't held this packaging in person. I feel like it would be really cheap plastic for some reason. And there's just something about the layout of these palettes that just don't get me. I don't like that like the shades aren't the same size. My camera battery is going to die. Great. I don't love that the shades are different sizes. And this is just one that just doesn't interest me. $42 is really expensive. I wouldn't get much, if any, use out of many of these shades, so this one just isn't worth it for me in my makeup collection, makeup aesthetic. But are you guys gonna get this one? Makeup by Mario is already releasing new things in his line, which is exciting. I wasn't super intrigued by anything out of the first release. If I was gonna get anything, it probably would have been the all matte palette, but I didn't pick that up and I don't plan to. He also just announced that he is going to be releasing 2 lip palettes. And I think 2, right? No, 1. Here's the second launch. And it is the Ultimate Matte Pro Lip Palette. I just know I would not get any use out of this. I could see this being really great, obviously, for a working makeup artist, which makes sense to his line that he is catering products and items to makeup artists because he is a makeup artist himself. But for me, I mean, it's hard enough for me to put lipstick on in like bullet form. So I couldn't see myself getting any use out of this. I don't see a price on the image that I saved. I'm sure the price will is probably out there. I will try and link the prices down below with everything I list in case you guys are interested. Next up, this is a less expensive release, but I'm still not interested, and I think it's the name that's keeping me away from these. And it's the newest addition to the e.l.f. Putty family, and it's the e.l.f. Putty Blush. I just think about the e.l.f. Putty Primer and the consistency of that, and I don't see how that would work as a blush, and the consistencies could obviously be very different. I obviously have not tried these, but if they would have just named it like a cream blush, I feel like I would be really interested in this, but because it's the Putty Blush, I'm not so interested. Some of the shades look really pretty, look more like shades I would have gone for in the summer. There's not one that I'm personally seeing that looks like a shade I would be really interested in right now. There are 8 different shades and they're $6 each, so a really good price. I will be interested to see reviews. This is one I could see down the road me picking up if they get really great reviews, but right off the bat, not too interested in that. I'm also not so interested in the Nikita Dragun and Morphe collaboration. 1, I don't like large eyeshadow palettes. 2, I'm not a huge fan of Nikita Dragun, and yeah, nothing about this release really calls to me. I think some of the shades in the palette look really pretty, but I also feel like the majority of these shades, like if it's a shade that I'd be interested in, I already have it in my collection, and personally I would much rather support indie brands and buy single shades in shades like this that I'm interested in rather than supporting Morphe as a brand. I just don't really care for Morphe in general as a brand, so that is definitely one that I will be skipping. A new Colourpop release. We know Colourpop releases a lot. I was really interested in the Baby Yoda palette because it's a green palette. It's pretty. I was in line for it. I decided, like, while I was waiting in the virtual line online, that I didn't need it. It was still available last night, and I was like, oh, should I get it? And I was like, no, girlfriend, like, you really don't need it. You brought so many palettes into your collection lately. But I'm not really interested at all in the 3 new eyeshadow palettes that they released for the fall. Is this their fall release? Is this one of their fall releases? I'm not too sure. But it is I don't have the name of the collection saved, but it's the one with like the flowers, and it has the 3 palettes. The palettes do look very, very pretty, but I just don't need these at all. I believe they're $16 per palette, no, $14 per palette. I do really like the Colourpop formula in general. I was a little bit let down by the taupe palette. It was like a little bit drier than I'm used to with Colourpop. The packaging on this looks really, really pretty. If I were to pick up one, it would be either Ornate or Grandeur. Everything looks pretty. I just don't need these. Are you guys picking up any of these though? I would love to know. I wasn't interested in Stone Cold Fox at all, and then for some reason I was looking at a picture of that palette last night and I almost bought that. What is wrong with me? It looks so pretty though. If you guys have Stone Cold Fox, let me know what you think about it. And then my 10th and final release for this video that I'm not gonna be picking up is the new Juvia's Place, like really large palette. Do they have a name for this yet? It's part of their holiday collection. It's the eyeshadow palette Wahala 2 with 30 shades, which is why I'm not interested in this. And the majority of the shades are blues, which blue is probably with the exception of red, blue is probably my least reached for eyeshadow shade, which is weird because the reason I bought the new Pat McGrath quad is for the blue shade. But this just doesn't really speak to me. It looks like there's pressed glitters in there. It looks like there might be 3 pressed glitter shades, which I'm not into pressed glitter at all. And then I just know, like, with the exception of the 2 rows towards the end with like the browns and peach and then possibly the pinks, but not even really those, I just don't feel like I would get much use out of this palette. It's $38, which I think is a good price for 30 pans of eyeshadow, especially Juvia's Place has really nice quality eyeshadow palettes, but this is definitely not one that really caught my attention and definitely not one that I will be personally picking up. And that is going to wrap it up for today's first episode of No Thank You November. Thank you so much again to Lauren for the amazing video idea. I'm really excited to continue this throughout the rest of November and then potentially carry on like at least a like once a month or once every other week anti-haul type of video if you guys like. I know I wasn't too sassy in today's video. Sometimes anti-hauls can get super, super sassy, so maybe I'll bring some more sass for the next one, but we're easing into things, you know, we're easing into it. I also like feel like I'm the type of person who I'm like, no, I don't need that. And then 3 days later, I'm like, oops, I already bought that. So I don't want to like totally drag something through the mud just to go buy it. Do you guys know what I mean? But I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. Again, leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you plan to pick up any of these releases, and let me know what you are also planning on skipping. I'd love to know if you guys are skipping some things that I already maybe purchased. I would just love to chat in the comments down below. Thanks so much for supporting my channel as always, you guys, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye.